All right, welcome on back. We are doing some two taboo musings. Sorry, I almost had to sneeze there and burp and everything else at the same time. So, anyways, happy Sunday. It is a holy day. No, I'm just kidding. If you ascribe to it, Sunday is supposed to be a holy day, but it's spelled sun, S-U-N, and like reference to the sun, like the burning ball of fire in the sky, and not the Son of God, yada yada yada. Although Sunday is the holy day. So, you're usually supposed to go to a church service, go all that. And I feel like that, I don't know. Even the split between uh, Methodist and Catholic and all the different Presbyterian, Baptist, all this. I mean, Christianity is such a loose and vague term. Like the Protestants, or the ones that protested, or the Arians, I guess. The other Aryan, A-R-I-A-N or whatever, were like the ones that didn't think that Jesus and God existed at the same time. They thought that it was consecutive. Like, God, even if God did come down and speak through Jesus, it wasn't like he had a direct link. Like, it was a separate, like, it was decoupled. The idea of he is not God and he's not controlling everything. Because, and that makes sense, because otherwise there'd be a lot more, although miracles, though. And what is a miracle? Healing the sick? That's a miracle. Restoring blind, like the sight to the blind. I don't think we're there yet, but with Elon's brain chip, yeah, totally, possibly. And we're there with medical transplants, which is supposed to be desecrating organs, or certain people ascribe to you can't be donating your body parts to another person. That's sacred. That's your body part. Well, maybe not really. Maybe we can be spare parts for another and lend them what sight remains in our eyes or our livers or I mean for that matter, we could stop destroying our livers and our hearts and our eyes in the first place. Now, for those that can't help it, it doesn't matter how you got there either, I should say. I mean, we'll still prioritize those born with, disabilities, I feel like. And we're advancing so much. I mean, we're fixing this stuff. It's a little clunky. I mean, prosthetics and all that now, but it's getting better. And if we had global cooperation, it would get there like in a heartbeat, in an instant. In fact, I already feel like we're just like sprinting with technological advances. We're also sprinting towards our own doom if we don't start trusting each other a little more to share this ever shrinking Earth. So yeah, it's Oh, so anyways, my dad was a Catholic. He was raised in Catholic school. He was military. He hated Catholicism. I mean, he thought it was so weird and stupid and like, I mean, still religion, Jesus-y stuff, but he was like the Homer Simpson. Homer Simpson in The Simpsons. He hates going to church, but he does it. Still goes with his family. They get all dressed up all nice. They go show off their family to the other people in the neighborhood. And and then there's gossip and all that and like, all the typical things that go around going to church or temple or mosque. I think it's still called temple or mosque for Islam. Or then there's when I was just in Thailand. Well, not so much Thailand. I didn't get to see a lot there, but I saw a bunch of or a few temples in Malaysia. They were pretty cool. They were more like Indian, like Hindu influence, and then some Buddhism type stuff, I believe. I think I saw one of each actually. I saw some. Oh, jeez, it's bad. I want to say Buddhism, but like honestly, it could have been something else. Like it could have been Hinduism. The one was definitely there was like they were burning stuff and they were mixing like this offering, kind of like the ofrendas with like offering up to the dead. Like it smelled kind of like food or something. Like they were cooking food, but then like giving it to the spirits or something, or the ghosts or the gods or God or I don't know. But there's a lot of very colorful pictures around. I mean, kind of like similar to stained glass in churches that I've known. And even like carnival rides, to be honest, like the representation of a bunch of different characters and like paying homage to or tribute to like that. Oh, and by the way, Islam does have it. I looked it up. They do have a tithe. That was one of the questions I was thinking of. It's like, okay, well, comparing the two religions, zakat, or it's as one of the five pillars of Islam, zakat is a religious duty for all Muslims who meet the necessary criteria of wealth to help the needy. It is a mandatory charitable contribution often considered to be a tax. The payment and dispute on zakat have played a major role in the history of Islam, notably during the Ridda Wars. Oh, okay, so that doesn't sound good, but here it says zakat is on wealth is based on the value of all of one's possessions. It is customarily 2.5%. or 1/40th of a Muslim's total savings and wealth above a minimum amount known as nisab each lunar year. But Islamic scholars differ on how much nisab is and other aspects of zakat. According to Islamic doctrine, the collected amount should be paid to the poor and the needy, zakat collectors, orphans, widows, those to be freed from slavery, the aged who cannot work to feed themselves, those in debt, in the cause of God, and to benefit the stranded traveler. The stranded traveler, boom, there you go. Today, in most Muslim majority countries, zakat contributions are voluntary, while in Libya, Malaysia, Pakistan, Saudi Arabia, Sudan, and Yemen, zakat is mandated and collected by the state as of 2015. Shias, unlike Sunnis, have traditionally regarded zakat as a private action, and they give zakat to imam-sponsored rather than state-sponsored collectors, but it is also obligatory for them. There you go. So it sounds like they enforce it a little more, but I mean, and that's kind of why we have like a tax, and most of the taxes go to the poor. Well, not most. A lot of it go to the military, but a lot of it go to the poor of other countries, and that is giving back to the land specifically. And it could be argued that we should be giving back to the birthplace of civilization, the Middle East, where Jesus and everyone were from, and like that's God's land, right? Jesus. I've seen some ridiculous arguments, and I want to say most of them are jokes, but I wouldn't doubt it if someone actually tried to like. Well, actually, no. The Mormon faith believes that John Smith. That's an interesting one. He read some tablets or a direct doctrine from God that said, "Do this in this way," and yeah. So South Park does an episode on it. South Park for the win on a lot of these things, and oh. So yeah, it's supposed to be 10% for Christians, which Trump fell short. Now Biden, he's worth about 8 million, I think, or he got 8 million from a book deal, and the rest of his money from a career as a politician. Now, it's important to understand the difference between that and Trump, who inherited over 400 million. So that's already 50 times what that book was worth. Given, not earned, just given, inherited, assumed. Like, okay, you're in control of this. So, ugh. And then he's panicking because he doesn't, he didn't earn it. He doesn't know. He doesn't have the experience to do this from the ground up. So he failed several times. Like Trump Stakes, Trump University. I mean, not for lack of trying. And who knows? He could still get it. I don't know how well or how bad he did with the country, other than planting jurors that would overturn the law of the land. That was big. I mean, I'm not trying to downplay that at all. The whole abortion thing, it was not theirs to do. That's why we had independence from England. Like, not abortion, because they didn't even have abortions back then, in a sense like this, but overreaching your political freedoms based on a religious ideal. I mean, now the 6-week thing, the heartbeat thing, that's scary. Like, I mean, I feel like there needs to be some exchange for that. If you're going to start enforcing that, then you have to provide for the medical care, using that money back to the land, to provide for the people, to have everybody have medical care, to where they can detect if they're pregnant within, and 6 weeks is still not, not long enough for some situations. Like, and in that case, then the state needs to be able to rush to funding for that kid, like in there. And that was beautiful. Like with Islam, it says that that percentage needs to go back to the poor, to those in debt, to those in service to the faith. Like it listed off all those categories of who qualifies for funding, public funding. And then here we are, oh, who's going to pay for it? Not the government. Oh, we can't do that. So are your churches? Is Joel Osteen giving 10% to... That's another interesting one. It's not too late. I mean, we need to remind these people that you can still do it. Go for it. It's a little late. It's kind of annoying that it took this long, but it's like I'm really talking to old Joel now, like I know him. And what's crazy is I could actually. I mean, I could talk to him on the X app. I don't think the Pope really reads my stuff. And sorry, I'm hinting at, like, I've talked to the Pope indirectly, but directly, like, to his account. And it's hilarious. It cracks me up that I've said, it's like, Simpsons was making fun of this back in the day, like, wave at the Pope, Luke. Or no, waving at the Pope, boss. Wave at the Pope, Luke. Like, it's this chain gang of this, a bunch of inmates that are probably in prison for nonviolent crimes, like drugs or whatever. Jazz musicians with their cocaine and all of that. And slavery didn't really disappear. It just changed flavors to state penitentiaries. And yeah, we got a whole rich history of stories about how that happened. I mean, we've got people joking about it. That's why comedians are really like the modern day apostles. Like they will spread the word of the land, and they'll do it in a way that you just like laugh hysterically, but it's true. Oh my gosh, that's so true. That's right. That's accurate. Uh, Wait, what were we talking about? The two taboos. I'm just kidding. It's exhausting though. Trying to gather up some bone meal so we can grow some nether trees, and I don't even know because then we gotta harvest them. And I was just thinking that maybe I need to do some more enchanting on my hoe because it's got unbreaking and mending. So there you go. I do need efficiency. Oh, whoops. Efficiency for sure. Like efficiency 4 or 5 if it goes that high. So I need to do a lot more enchanting. So we're gonna do this. We've got books. We've got 51 levels. Mm. Kind of feel like running is a little faster. As long as you don't jump on the crops, just trample them. I've been struck by lightning so many times here in this area. Alright. And really giving back to the land, like pouring one out for the homies, like pouring out a sip of liquor for the people that are dead and gone. Like that's, it's a common thought, idea, or concept through, poorer culture too. The streets. Wait, what was I doing? Books and stuff. Enchanting. uh, so yeah, and then I got called a heretic by this other guy who's like a modernist, um, saying that that's the idea of people that they aren't satisfied with the way that the Bible says things are, and like we need an update. Which, coming from a computer scientist, yeah, you betcha. Like, let's see, piercing, efficiency, appealing. Wait, I'm not actually looking for anything this time. We're gonna put this up close. We're just gonna get singles. Oh, what I should do, and what I think I started to do. Hmm. I might still do that as well. But basically get some other wizards, some librarians, basically. Which, who are wizards? I mean, keepers of knowledge, like absorbers of knowledge too, because you hang out in a barbershop long enough, you're going to get your hair cut. You hang out in a library long enough, you're going to read some books, or you're going to hear summaries about books too. Like, thinking back to the Matilda, one of my favorite movies, my kids love it too. It's like, it's so sad, like, not Robert De Niro, Danny DeVito, he really did like do a bunch of kind things for Matilda, whose mom, I think it was her mom, yeah, actually was dying of, I want to say cancer, and like during the making of the movie, or so a lot of that like emotion from Matilda was very real. Like she was going through some stuff, and it's a beautiful movie, and it's basically about this brilliant brilliant girl that gets a bunch of library books and just continues to learn and continues to grow her mind, despite the efforts of her, parents being complete slums, like basically what some people in the world picture Americans being like, just sloppy slobs, like, I don't know, like, let's see what, power. We stay hungry, we eat devour, blah, blah, blah. Sorry, just like thinking of an ad, power 2, power 2, power 3. Oh, and then thinking about other perspectives, Third Rock from the Sun used to be a pretty good show. Really good show with John Lithgow, I think, one of the murderers in Dexter. But anyways, and he goes to a white power rally, not knowing that the white power was when KKK tried to murder and exterminate and oppress dark-skinned and non-white people. Not just dark-skinned like African American, like natives, Chinese, Mexicans, Hispanics, like non-whites. You know, yeah, like white trash basically. Oh, and that one broke. And see, and it is an embarrassing part of white culture. It's very embarrassing. Just like Germans and Nazis. And I'm part German too. I've got, I'm mud. I've got parts of all these things. English, British. I mean, colonizing. Let's see, there we go. Efficiency. It's all bad. I mean, if it's not done correctly, and even then, it's hard to do correctly. Like to respect the locals. And we're kind of struggling like with that with our nature, our natural animals, like their habitats. Here in America, we keep a lot of parks that are protected, but again, going back to Trump, he wanted to drill in a lot of natural areas and keep pushing the oil thing, putting money over earth. And, that's even dangerous. So, and people saying climate change is a hoax, that's a typical business ploy, cause confusion and distrust of the narrative, make it, oh wait, that's a feather falling. That's a feather falling. I do have one more. But I mean, even though the scientist hired by, I forget which company, but an oil company, predicted that these changes would happen and the disastrous results would happen. So like it's how it's easier, not Jewish space lasers. It's saying no, there's like our forest fires are much more intense, much more harder to contain. And see, even that, I tend to take the professional's word on it. Like thinking about Chris Farley and Tommy Boy. You could get a good look of a T-bone by sticking your head up a cow, but I'd rather take the butcher's word for it. Well, I'd rather take a professional's word for it, and not just a professional. 97, it's either 97 or 99, but a 97% in science of people agreeing is, you might as well call it a 99 or even 100. That's as close as you're going to get to complete agreement. And that's even like splitting hairs on the severity and like, oh. So they agree climate change is happening. It's human interacted, and it's accelerating temperatures, and it's causing a bunch of problems. I don't think I could put it any more bluntly. It bad thing, very very bad. And people just play it down like, ah, nah, it's not that bad. And then it's like Horrible Bosses, where one of the kids, wait, like his dad's company was actually focused on that. Like, we need to ethically dispose of chemicals. Yeah, I need cocaine and I need, my fancy material possessions at hookers. Like this guy was just buying all this like stuff. Sorry, this is not a kid-friendly thing at all. In fact, I should probably change it to 18 plus. I'll just try to keep it PG-13. Anyways, I don't think like a kid would actually like sit and watch all. Although Minecraft, if you don't understand the words, my God, I'm sorry if I cause any troubles. Okay. Not my intention, but good intentions, what? They paved the way to hell. And not to say that, like, hell is such a big carrot. Or no, stick. Sorry. Heaven's the carrot, hell's the stick. And it's ridiculous. That's why, like, I'm not going to say the name of the show, but there's an ideology that the devil actually is a therapist for sinners. And they help tortured souls through the transition to the afterlife. Uh, Efficiency 3. Oh, see, once we get another efficiency 1, that's gonna like, it's like those stacking cups. It's gonna combine with this one to combine with this one to combine with this one. Or like gems in Diablo. You used to get, in Diablo 2 actually, you'd get gems, like chipped gems, like a little chip of a gem, nothing hardly. And you'd combine it with another chip. Or wait, was it 3? Maybe it was 2 for each. I don't even remember, but, and it didn't even matter. I had a, for Open BattleNet, I had Jamela that you could edit your character, and like basically it was like having a custom world, but it was generally understood that it was a place for hackers basically, or using hacking software, which was generally like accepted. I want to say not like encouraged, but at the same time, that's why they had a closed and an open, so you can modify your character. That's basically all it was. Is you were going into the files and changing values of things, and it was a nice interface. It just like allowed you to do that. Now, if you went into the actual code and you could understand file formats and everything, you could just fiddle with the numbers and fudge the stuff anyway. It didn't matter. Let's see, wait, what am I looking for? Power. There's knockback. I have that. Piercing and impaling. I have some of that. Yeah, actually, wait. You know it. Impaling 1, impaling 2, impaling 1. Alright, so we're going to get an impaling 3. Or break our anvil at this point, but I don't know, there's something satisfying to like upgrading all this stuff. And we have the levels for now. I mean, each one of these is 1 or 2 or 3 levels. Now we're down to 16. Oh, but oops. Now we have impaling 3. Let's see, protection, power, piercing, power, wait. Power 1, power 3, smite, and sharpness. Sharpness I think can just go up there. I need another efficiency. Yeah. Let's go ahead and make maybe a village? I'm trying to think. Means we're gonna need books. Oh wait, we're out of books. Um, Looks like we gotta go make some books. Alright, whatever, we're just putting these in here. I'll organize that some other time, but anyway, the two taboos, that's about it. If we kind of blur our eyes and look at the macro level of everything, you will see that people are people. Oh, that's the other thing, we should mention that. The actual statistic, let's see. Um, let's see. So, what do we ask of Google? Um, how alike are people percentage-wise? This should hopefully bring up the biological comparison of people. 99.9% identical. All human beings are 99.9% identical in their genetic makeup. Differences in the remaining 0.1% hold important clues about the causes of diseases. Okay, so there you go. 99.9%. And again, in science, for something like that, I mean, so now it's important to pay attention to that 0.1% because, like it just said there, that can potentially be markers or clues for diseases or genetic problems. And I mean, you have the old barbaric, like Dark Age ways of, in the Roman, or what is it, the 300, the movie with the gladiator, the 300 centurions or whatever, or Spartans, I think. Yeah, because this is Sparta, and then he kicks the. Go watch it. It's a pretty good movie. But anyways, the point is in the very beginning of the movie, they talked about how great the Spartans were, and they were so great that they found any kid that was born with a deformity or a disability or anything was basically killed. It was aborted after birth. Like, and so that seems pretty messed up. I mean, I'm just gonna say, like, especially with all the advances we have, I mean, people deserve to have an opportunity at life, or and see, I don't know. Even that, like, then it becomes the ethical question: how soon is too soon to abort something that once it's actually joined of the two ingredients? Sorry, again, I'm trying to keep it PG-13 vague, but like, once you join the two chemicals, the two ingredients, then that becomes an embryo, or not even really like a zygote. I think it's classified as for the first bit or something. I mean, a larva, whatever. Like, think about it in stages like that. There's several stages, and then the heartbeat starts about 6 weeks, brain functionality about 24 to 25 weeks. So there we're at 3 months. And I think 3 months is about like the abortion range. Like after that, you're getting into, I mean, I think it's up until actual birth if it matters for the health of the mom. Like if it's deadly to the mom, then yes, it is legal to. I mean, at least in Colorado, like we have laws we're voting on that put that in place. Actually, I should check that out. Uh, Sorry, because that's like the big thing of the religious thing. Like the religion plays, or Christian plays a part in the abortion argument. That's like their biggest beef with the Democrats. The Democrats want to allow abortions up to birth in some places, which I feel like that's messed up. And I think that just up to birth is just for when like it's a danger to the mom's health. And now that's vague too. You got to be careful because if it's just an inconvenience, like financial burden, then I don't know. Like that needs to be decided too. Like what constitutes burdensome enough, whew, to justify that. Now I know after I heard the heartbeat of my kids, I couldn't see myself doing it. Like that, my mind was made up at that point. Like, oof. So, I mean, people get cold feet about everything. Marriage, like buying a car, buying a house, like, even going to a fancy dinner. Oh my God. I spent like 60, 70 bucks on a dinner once for my date. Whew. And me, of course. I ate really well. But, geez, for like a high school kid with a high school like part-time job, that's a lot of money. All right, let's see. What was I looking up? Um, I'll think about it. we were talking about abortion, and I agree. Abortion it's not a great thing. It's not like, yay, I went out and got an abortion. Like, ooh, look at me. Like, we don't celebrate these things. It's a hard decision because it is potentially reversing a process that was set in motion by natural forces, natural phenomenon, well, science. I mean, it's very scientific now. We've got a pretty good understanding of what happens, why it happens, and in what order. Like, we've got it categorized and studied at length. Like, people dedicate their entire lives to this biology, basically. There you go. And genetics, it's important to be able to determine that. And that might actually be a factor. Like, can we remove genetic mutations of a negative type? And at the same time, if there's like mutations like mutants, if we want to get like comic booky with it, oh yeah, let's start breeding and like genetically modifying people to make mutants. That sounds great. But let's fix the war thing first. Like, once we get a general understanding that Islam and Christianity can coexist side by side. Yeah, it's like daytime now. All right, let's get some trading going. Oh, sorry. Yes, I woke you up and did that. Thank you. And I need to build houses for them. I started to across the way, but it's tricky because they don't have a really good way to cross. I don't want them trampling through, especially farmers. It's really bad, but like, if you let one through, you let them all through. That's how the tech works. Like, if they're able to path to your garden, see, don't you dare looking at it. He wants over here so he can hit these crops, like these over here, and do his thing. That's how I lost the carrot. I had carrots. I don't now. Anyways, I might even play some offline. I think we've pretty much covered everything I wanted to today. Happy Sunday. Where are we at here? 27 minutes. I mean, it just takes a bunch of patience and communication, really. Because we're all saying a lot of the same stuff. And that's like kind of the thing. The general theme of all this stuff. So, and it is important. It's global peace. Like, this is how... Ah, jeez, even women voting. My God, I really didn't think... Sorry, and I say that in the actual figurative term. Like, that's why I really... Oh, that's what I was going to do. I was going to look it up. I mean, this was an aside thing, but... So I have the book coming, but now I kind of want to see... Library... Okay, I just want to pull it up. I won't do it right now. Let's go harvest some crops for these last couple of minutes. Oh, wait, no. Let's start building the garden. In fact, we might come back next episode, either next week or maybe even later tonight. I don't know. But I'm pretty random. I do need to do some more cleaning around the house, but we have dirt. And we have slabs. Return the slab. Anyways. Any Courage the Cowardly Dog fans out there will be like, yes, yes. Alright, 1, 2, 3, and I believe that's about... And then... Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4. I think that's how I usually do it. Yeah, and then you can hang the thing down. Okay. So... Careful, because it's really easy to fall off the edge and then you gotta jump back up. I guess we still have a ways. Actually, did I make these 32 units across or like a full 64? That's like the difference between the 32-bit and 64-bit architecture. Like, once we realized we needed to have a lot more information in computer commands floating back and forth, we actually increased it from, let's see, is that the ending? Yeah. From 32-bit to 64. It's just how things were transmitted. Like, and then the byte, which is 8 bits, is just a general unit of measure. And then you can have a combination. Like, you can have a 4-byte string, like an IP address. Or wait, actually that's just a section. Wait, isn't it? No, actually I think it's 4 bytes is an IP address, because each individual byte can have... Or each byte has 8 digits, 8 bits, that can be toggled 1 or 0, and with 8 bits you can represent... I'd have to look at it, yeah, because I think it's 8 ones or zeros, 8 ones or 0, yeah, 4 times. Wow, that's embarrassing. studied network architecture and all that stuff. I should know this stuff, but I don't. And anyways, that's Saved by the Bell. Just want to see what this looks like. Let's go ahead and turn that off. Yeah. So that will be how it is, and then we'll make like an entire second layer. I need to add more lights, so once I do put a roof over it, I'm gonna be putting lanterns underneath it. So, anyways, ta-ta for now. I'll see you in the next one, and hope you're enjoying the two taboos, and you're not too angry at me. And maybe you're a little less angry at people that you previously weren't. Especially after 9/11, we were really angry at Muslims after that, but now only slightly angry, like Gaza. Wait, Gaza, Ghana, Gaza. Ghana's a different place, but Gaza and Israel, which, like I said, Biden put out a 20-minute video on X app. I think it was just like 2 days ago, maybe even yesterday, and it was very hopeful. Now it was talking in terms of not completed, not agreed upon. And I know like there's places like I think it was one of the African countries was like seeking charges against Israel's president Netanyahu or however you pronounce it. So, anyways, it sounds hopeful. I don't know what's gonna go on, but one thing's for sure, it is bad. It needs to change, and we need to work on it as a team and be a one world. So, ta ta for now. I'll see you in the next one. See you there.